Hello, beautiful people. I am Adria Sullivan, and I am so happy to be here with you today talking about trauma healing and how you can use your breath and some gentle yoga poses to move you towards your ultimate goal of healing. I am the founder of Cognitive Clarity, and I've been doing mental health counseling for the past 14 years. And all the while, I have been very much interested in the brain body connection. And so I've studied everything from personal training to nutrition and breath work and yoga and all the things in between, because I truly do believe that my calling here on this planet is to heal people. And I love alternative methods to your traditional talk therapy and pharmaceutical medications. I am not someone who judges anyone for anything. But I do believe that we should try to find our inner healer that I believe that we all have, that knows how to heal us, but we have to tap into that first. So I am, again, so thankful that you're here, because that means either you are someone who wants to be trauma informed so you can go out into the world and interact with people in a non-threatening way so that you don't set off their trauma response, or you are on your own healing journey. Either way, welcome. And I want to extend the invitation to show up however it is you are today. There are a lot of myths out there about breath work and yoga and meditation, and we could go into that forever, but the one thing I really want you to know is that it doesn't have to be this space of like thought erasing. There are meditations out there that will teach that. I believe that the best way for us to heal is to first gain awareness. So if you can gain awareness, you are always on the right track. So a lot of my work comes down to helping people to become aware of what your behaviors are, your choices are. How's that connected to maybe your subconscious thoughts, your emotions? And in this world, this is a very loud world, right? We have opinions coming at us from everywhere. We have our life experiences, the voices from our past, and lots of generational trauma is at play as well. And so healing to me begins with tuning into ourselves, learning how to discover your intuition again, learning how to rely on it and listen. So it's definitely a journey, but today I want you to just tune in, do your best to sample what I have to offer, and I'm of course always willing to talk more and go more in depth at another time. So let's just start off with understanding how trauma affects us, right? And one thing I think is important to know, especially in this world of comparison. I have worked with hundreds of people over the last 14 years, and there's not a single one that did not have trauma. Now, there's a lot of them that didn't accept that they had a trauma, because they would say things like, well, it's not as bad as so-and-so, right? If that's ever been your story, I want you to just, one, give yourself a really big hug and say, okay, wait, maybe what happened to me was a bigger deal than I thought. And we don't have to compare ourselves to anyone else. There are people out there that have it worse, and there are people out there that have it better. But none of that matters. What matters is that you are here and you're deciding to break this cycle. It can stop now. You can start your healing journey today by tuning in and understanding yourself on so many levels. You have to understand yourself to learn how to know how you operate. Think of yourself like you're a science experiment. And over the course of your healing, you are coming up with all these data points, right? So that's your awareness. You're coming up with as many data points as you possibly can so that you can identify what is making you tick and get triggered, what's helping you to relax and feel safe and secure, and how do we get all this to work for you? So any type of trauma, we call them big T traumas and little t traumas, any type of trauma, even if you just have a family history of trauma, that does bleed over into our lives. But what it can do, it causes us to feel very fragmented. There's either not either or, it can be and, but we can become very vigilant and on guard, right? That fight or flight response, it seems to always be active, right? And we're jumpy or we have a lot of anxiety. The smallest thing can set off a panic attack. So that's part of this trauma response. And I think often that's what people notice first, because especially with the big T traumas, they remember this scary situation. And ever since then, they've been like ready for the next one, right? On guard for whatever's going to come their way because their body is kind of primed and ready to protect them. So the other side to that is those that feel very disconnected, right? Most likely because they have been trying so hard to just get over it, to push it away, to move on. They kind of might have this mindset of that, I don't need that in my life. I'm better than that. They're just like pushing forward. And so if we push away a giant part of ourselves that made us who we are, then of course we're going to feel really disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from our emotions, our body even, and that can just create lots of discomfort. And sometimes you kind of wake up one day and you discover that you don't even know who you are anymore because you've just been going through the motions, totally disconnected from the beautiful life that you could have had you been aware. So healing from all your past trauma does take time. It does take time. And I invite you to allow yourself to know that you're not going to heal today and it's going to be a journey, but it's one that is maybe lifelong, but we only get this one life, right? We only get this one life. And I'm getting chills as I say that because this can be a beautiful life and you can heal from what was done to you. It was unfair. It was unfair, but you do have the responsibility to change it for yourself and for your family and for future generations. So healing invites you to begin to befriend your body again, to honor your unique needs, and again, set a pace for healing that is not compared to what anybody else is doing. Even if you were to join any type of healing program, oftentimes we feel rushed to stay up with where everyone else is. And I want you to right now just decide for the rest of your life, because a lot of you I know are driven, high achieving people. And we want to do what someone asks us to do. And when we fall behind, we start to feel bad about ourselves. Please just make a promise to yourself from now on that you're going to honor your own pace, because that might be linked to a trauma response that you just haven't discovered yet. And through your trauma healing, you are developing resources that your mind and your body, your brain, they need these resources that they need to again establish some sense of safety. So we have to establish the sense of safety in order to eventually turn towards our trauma, which right now might sound so terrifying, but that's because it's eventually turned towards our trauma and begin to heal and see our trauma with compassion, see ourselves with compassion. And the way that I have found to do this is a combination of lots of different things. Coming into our body and gaining body security and awareness, though, is key. So today we're going to go through a few different aspects of that. One is a little bit of meditation and breath work and gentle yoga poses. I don't want to get too technical with the trauma response because that could be a lifetime of learning. But I want you to have just a baseline understanding of why you might feel on guard or jumpy or shut down. And so you may have heard of your autonomic nervous system. Well, your autonomic nervous system is broken down into your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. And so your sympathetic nervous system, think of that as your fight and flight. And so people that are stuck in that, those might be your more very anxious people, okay? They have the panic attacks and they're just stuck in the sympathetic space where your body is ready. It's sending adrenaline and it is ready to fight or run away. It's there to protect you. Then we also have the parasympathetic nervous system that is designed for rest and helps with digestion. So your parasympathetic, I like to think of that, by the way, as like a parachute. So if I put my parachute on, I can start to slow down. I can start to gain control of, the madness. So that parasympathetic nervous system is governed by your vagus nerve. So if you've not learned too much about your vagus nerve, there is a whole polyvagal theory that I do find extremely fascinating and can be very helpful. And there's lots of techniques and exercises that you can learn and incorporate into your everyday. I will just share one with you, one that I really love to bring me into the present, start my day off really well. Now, you've probably seen the giant ice baths. Those are wonderful if you can do that. I can't fill up a big tub every morning. And so what you could do that is just as effective, get a large bowl, like a big salad bowl, fill it with ice and water, and just dunk your head in there as long as you can, okay? You have so many nerve endings in your face, and that is going to stimulate your vagus nerve. So we want to activate this vagus nerve because we want your parasympathetic nervous system to be activated and do its job, which is to allow us to rest, right? If in the trauma response, we are either keyed up, the sympathetic is going strong, or we've tapped out. And those don't like happen together, and some people are like this, some people are like that. You cannot, your sympathetic nervous system cannot act forever, right? I used to do a lot of brain mapping, and some people would come in and say, I'm just super anxious all the time, but their brain would show up as depressed. And the way to describe that is your body cannot survive like that for too long. And so while you might actually still feel anxious, your body has already begun the shutdown process, especially if your brain is already there. So it might look like foggy brain. You have a really hard time remembering things. That it's the extra, right? We all have a little bit where you walk into a room and you're like, what did I come here for? But that just seems to happen a lot when you're very disconnected. So there's these activities that you can learn and some of which I'm going to teach you today to stimulate the vagus nerve. So we today are going to do some body awareness, focusing on our breath, and some gentle yoga poses. All right, so the first two things that I want you to know and I want you to set up for yourself is, first of all, creating a sacred space. So I invite you all to somewhere in your house, if you have a private office, do this in both locations if you can. But somewhere in your house, I invite you to create a sacred space. Now, you are in my attic. This is where I do telehealth. I have a guest bed up here that I bring people up here to lead them through different healing journeys. I also do my yoga up here, but could it be better? Yes, but I'm poor at decorating, so you get white walls right now. But one thing that I do when I'm going through some, deep meditation, I like to incorporate oils or some incense. Today, I have this from Amazon. Let's see here. It is the Archangel Michael White Sage Smudge Spray. I spray this on myself before most sessions, before I can really tune in to the session of my client. So it's bringing, again, this awareness. So when you can stimulate all your senses, you're going to be able to kind of come into the environment, allow it to be cozy, get you get your mat if you have one. If not, a blanket works just fine. Some pillows, some yoga blocks. If you have a meditation pillow, wonderful. I am sitting on one now. Whatever you need, but you could just put this around. I have some frankincense going as well. But your sacred space is your safe space. A safe space where you can feel brave enough to move your body and get to know your body again. Oftentimes I will just blast music up here. I'm a very bad dancer. That is not an inner critic. It's just not that good. But it doesn't matter up here, right? I can move my body however it wants to move and really begin to just get in touch. When I can do that, it's oftentimes my most creative moments. I will do all the things and then go and write something that feels authentic and genuine and healing to others. So creating your safe space is key. Another thing I want you to know, yoga, meditation, any part of your healing journey is all about choice, right? One time or another, you did not have choice. Your control was taken from you. And so I want you to know that everything that I invite you to do is only an invitation. If you are in a yoga class, you are invited to not worry about what anybody else is doing. You will be wobbly some days and you will be strong others. And that is all the beautiful things about yoga, because you can learn so much about letting go of what everybody else is doing and just focusing on you and your journey on your mat in your sacred space. So anything that I bring up today, it is an invitation, but I want you to do what feels right for you. Move if you want to move. Again, another myth is that you have to be totally still in meditation specifically. Why? I don't think so. There is one thing you can learn, and maybe I'll just tell you the lesson so you don't have to, but one thing you can learn from a very still meditation practice is that all things pass. So I have done those, but it's just not necessary is what I want you to know. So in a very still meditation, let's say you get an itch on your nose. We can't move, right? We have to stay completely still. But what you will notice is that itch will leave. And it's a beautiful lesson to learn that with all things, there will be something that follows. Nothing lasts forever. So keep that in mind as you go through our practice today. And Right now, I invite you to get in a very comfortable position. You could lay down. I very much like some of these parts to be, laying down, if I'm feeling a meditation that way. Especially those that don't have a yoga or a meditation pillow. Let me show you this one. So this one's mine. It has these acupressure points on the top, which bring awareness to your body wherever they're at. Or you can flip it over and just sit on the comfortable side. This allows you to sit more comfortably, just aligns your back, allows you to sit up more straight, raise the crown of your head to the sky, especially if you're doing quite a long meditation. But anything could work. You could use a pillow or a rolled up blanket. But again, if you have none of that, just lay down. That works too. So I do invite you to close your eyes, get comfortable. If you do not feel comfortable closing your eyes, definitely bring your gaze down, just so that I want you to tune inward as much as possible. Begin just bringing your awareness to your breath. I'm gonna play some light music. I hope that you can actually hear it. If not, if you actually wanted to pause it and play some meditation music on your phone and put it closer to your head or just in the room, please do that. So you're just coming into yourself, into your environment. Into your body. As we orient to our space, we're turning our attention inward so that you can observe your body and breath and ultimately develop a deeper connection to your center. I invite you to set an intention to explore this practice with curiosity and without judgment. Begin to notice whether it feels easy or difficult for you to sit here in stillness. Are you moving more or less than usual? Do you feel the urge to fidget? Do you feel restless or jittery? Do you feel lethargic or sluggish? Do you feel collapsed? Do you feel frozen or excessively still? Or do you feel relaxed and at ease? Notice how much space you want to take up right now. Do you feel expansive? Or do you feel an urge to curl up and make yourself small? Begin to notice how you are breathing. Do you notice a tendency to hold your breath? Are you breathing in a shallow manner? Does your breath feel quickened? Or do you notice a shortness of breath, like you can't get enough oxygen? Or are you feeling like your breath is coming freely and easily? And now let's bring our attention to our heart. Can you notice your heartbeat? Does it feel rapid? Are you sweating more than usual? Notice the overall quality of your energy. Are you feeling vigilant and on high alert? Foggy and fatigued? Or do you feel relaxed and at ease? Shifting your awareness to your face, do you notice any tension around your eyes? Are they narrowed? Or is your brow furrowed? Do you have tension in your forehead or around your temples? Now bring awareness to your jaw and mouth. Do you notice that you purse your lips or clench your teeth together? Is your tongue pressed firmly against the roof of your mouth? If you'd like, gently move your head around, moving it from left to right, up and down. Notice if you feel any tension in your throat, your neck, or at the base of your skull. Perhaps roll your shoulders forward and backwards, and notice any tightness or constriction around your shoulders, your upper back, or chest. Let's bring our awareness to our belly. Do you notice any tension around your diaphragm, your stomach, or your lower back? You might explore some gentle movements of your spine, moving forward and backwards or side to side, just to bring greater awareness to those areas of your body. Good. If you feel comfortable, bring awareness to your pelvis and hips. Do you notice a tendency to clench your gluteal muscles or to grip in your pelvic floor? Then notice your legs and your feet, and see if you tend to carry tension by gripping the muscles in your thighs. Perhaps you carry habitual tension in your calves. Do you tend to grip your feet or curl your toes? Now gather a sense of your overall body. See if you can welcome yourself just as you are in this moment. And then I invite you to connect with your center by bringing your hands to the center of your chest. Throughout this space together and throughout your healing journey, one thing we forget to rely on is our breath. Bringing your attention to how you're breathing can help you adjust to see how you can create a breath that will aid in your relaxation and healing. I'm going to show you the 3-part breath. And I would love for you to keep one hand on your chest and put the other on your belly. First, stopping to just show it gratitude for showing up today. Notice how your baseline breath is. If it's become more relaxed than it was at the beginning. And bring your attention to the hand that's over your navel and focus on each inhalation into your lower lungs, expanding your belly like a balloon. We inhale through our nose, filling up the space in our belly. And then exhale through your mouth, releasing the breath and the belly. First, starting here, only focusing on the belly. Breathing in through your nose, expanding the lower lungs, filling up your belly full of air. And on your exhale, just focus on that belly coming all the way in, super tight. Get all that air out. And when you feel ready to add the second part of this breath practice, take your hands to your rib cage. This time as you inhale, fill your belly and then fill your rib cage. This will expand your diaphragm. As you exhale, release the breath from your rib cage and then your belly. Continue to breathe in this manner for several breaths. In through your nose with your belly, your diaphragm, and then exhale through your mouth, diaphragm, belly. And if you would like, you can explore adding the third part of this breath. Now as you inhale, begin by filling your belly, your diaphragm, and then your chest. And then exhale as you release, your chest goes down. First, your diaphragm, and then belly. Inhaling through your nose, your belly fills up, your diaphragm, your chest. And I invite you to hold for 1 count. And then exhale, chest releases your oxygen, then your diaphragm, then your belly. Continue to breathe in this manner for a few moments. You are doing so well. I want you to take a moment and smile. Give yourself thanks for allowing yourself to show up and connect with your breath. You may have heard, but trauma gets stored in our bodies, which is why we connect with our breath, but we can also aid in our healing by moving our bodies. Trauma specifically gets stuck in our hips. So today, I'm going to lead you through some yin yoga. Yin is a style of yoga that is very gentle, but it's long held poses. If you haven't opened your eyes, you can. So longer held poses allow your body to go through its process of like trying to jump and protect you, and then it allows the chemicals in your body to release and allow it to relax, which can help move out the stored energy, the stored trauma that's in there. So for my clients who are seeking to go through a healing journey, we start with some breath work, some meditation, and some yin yoga to really prepare our bodies and our minds to go through the healing process. So today I'm just going to teach you a few that you can do anywhere you are. Clearly, like probably in private. I mean, some of these you might not want to do in public, but so know that a lot of these are hip openers today. So I invite you to, if you're not already on your yoga mat, to get just kind of a seated position on your yoga mat. I think I can actually move it closer. So the first shape we're going to get into is butterfly. You might remember butterfly from, your PE days, or if that's just a move that you've enjoyed, it's time to bring it out. So you're going to start seated with your feet planted on the ground, and then just bring the soles of your feet to touch. Please remember that this is your practice. Your knees might be here, or they might be touching the ground. Mine do not. So be gentle with yourself, honor your body, and we sit here in butterfly. If you need to, you could move your feet further out or closer in. I want you to take a moment to just explore how this feels best for you. Our goal is not to be like the best yogi in the world. It is to be yourself. If you would like to deepen it, you can grab take your hands around your feet, round your back, and bring your head as close to your feet as you can. And here we will rest here for a few minutes, bringing your awareness to your breath again, just in through your nose and out through your mouth, or whatever is comfortable for you. Show you one more option as well. I only have one yoga block up here with me, but if you took two, you could place them here, right beside your feet, and you could in fact kind of lean forward like this. I actually find this face posture where you just hold your face and sit in a pose, I find it to be very comforting. So just trying that out as well. If you want to feel more of a stretch, you can take your elbows and kind of push your knees down towards the ground. Even rocking back and forth works as well. And now let's move into our second pose. Take your right leg out to the side. Take your left, the sole of your foot, bring it to touch your right leg. And this can be called half butterfly. You might lift up your hips slightly, straighten your back a little bit, kind of orient yourself to your right leg. And so we're gonna lean forward. Again, if you have a block, you could in fact bring your elbows here. You could put 2 blocks on the side and just bring your elbows over. If you are bendy enough, you can touch the bottom of your foot and bring your face down to your thigh. Just go down as far as is comfortable for you. You can place your hands on the floor. You can place it on your thigh or on your toes. Throughout these postures, be kind to yourself. No pain. We do not need to experience any pain for this to work. Simply breathing into the stretch is what we're looking for. Breathing into the spaces that feel tense until they release. Now in all these postures, you could get into one that feels really good and hold it for about 5 minutes. That'd be a really good yin practice. And your thoughts are gonna go all over the place. And that's okay. What we're doing is bringing our awareness to what our thoughts are. Now let's shift to the other leg, sitting up straight and transitioning. Your right leg now touches the inner of your left thigh. We orient to the left side and we fall forward. You might notice that there's a difference in sides. I like to do yin with my eyes closed so that I can stay focused internally. I'm observing what my thoughts are, observing how I feel. Often in true yin, which would be longer than what we're doing, we do want to stay focused. Not you, but whoever's leading it, we'll time it. So you're really doing between 3 to 5 minutes. It's enough time for you to go through some things in your mind. You might be thinking, when will this end? Oh my gosh, have I been here forever? And all is okay. You just bring your awareness to that and say, okay. And you come back to your practice, come back to your breath. All right. Now let's move into a posture that it might seem a little advanced. It's one that I absolutely love, and I'm going to show you a couple different. So it's called shoelace, and it's where you take your legs and stack them. So if you're just sitting here where your right leg was already touching your left, take your left leg over your right, and your knees are going to come together. So as much on top of each other as your anatomy is going to let you, and you're really feeling this stretch here in the left side of your hips. So again, you can kind of wiggle around as much as you can. Play around with what does it feel like with your back super straight, where you bring the crown of your head to the ceiling. Take a couple breaths like this. Really relaxing both your hips. Make sure the right side isn't clenched. You can experiment with bending forward and maybe putting your elbows on your knee and holding your face. Offering some self-love and self-care. Noticing how good it feels to just touch your own face. That you can comfort and love on yourself anytime. All right, let's do the other side. Simply switch legs. If you need to shake it out a little bit, go for it. Switch legs so that your right leg is now on top. Play around with the different poses, whether you're straight up. That really adds kind of an extra stretch here on the right side. You can bend all the way forward. Or again, hold your face. Just breathing into the tension until it relaxes. When both sides feel balanced and relaxed, let's move into deer pose. You can get into deer pose starting with similar to butterfly. And then we're gonna take our right leg and move it behind us. If this does not feel good on your knees, skip it. So you're moving your right leg just kind of behind you while your left leg is out like this. Again, it's nothing about you. Sometimes just our anatomy doesn't allow certain yoga poses to happen. So that is another reason we don't want to compare ourselves to anyone else. But this can try to balance out our hips from the shoelace that we just did. Try sitting up straight. You might notice that it maybe becomes a little easier if you move your foot a little farther out, or your front foot a little bit further out. If you need more, you could even try to twist towards the back foot. It's gonna give you some spinal twist here, or to really even deepen it. This way you could move and twist to your left. Find the position that feels the best to you. Let's take a couple more breaths here, in through our nose and out through our mouth. And now let's switch sides. Just flip-flopping over. Again, you may notice that your sides feel different. That is perfectly natural. Again, breathe into the tension. Wonderful. Now, let's move into one of my favorite poses, which is Happy Baby. So you're gonna find yourself on your back. Come down on your back, bring your knees to your chest. Take your arms up. I like to go between my knees and grab the outer parts of my feet and bring your knees almost like into your armpits. And whatever style you can, sometimes people take their 2 fingers and wrap it around their big toe. Those are your peace fingers. You could take it to the outside of your feet or the inside of your feet. Now, in this pose, feel free to move around. So you could rock back and forth. You could explore taking one leg out to the side at a time. This is to really open all your hip muscles. And then find a position and kind of find a little bit of stillness. Stay in your happy baby. allowing yourself to be playful as you explore this pose. And when you feel like you have explored your happy baby and it is so happy with you, I invite you to join us for the final pose, which is legs up a wall. Hopefully you have a wall nearby, and you simply bring your booty to the wall. I will show you here. So you get as close to the wall as you can. Bring that booty close and just put your legs up the wall. Your hands on your stomach. If closing your eyes feels right, close your eyes and tune in. Notice your breathing. Allowing yourself to rest. The most profound integration of your yoga practice happens when you allow yourself to simply rest. Resting into stillness gives you time to absorb the new patterns that you created in your practice. Integrating these changes into your overall sense of self is what allows you to transform over time. Settling into stillness also allows you to access the inner wisdom that can be found within the depths of your psyche. As if diving deep below the surface of the ocean, you find the slowest moving currents of your soul's wisdom. Within these depths, you connect to your intuition. As you reside in this deep connection to your heart, you learn to trust this inner knowing. This inner knowing becomes the guiding compass for your life's decisions. In order to rest into this place of deep stillness, you must feel safe enough to let go of your defenses, which will allow you to access your parasympathetic nervous system's relaxation response. Please, I invite you to stay where you are, or if you would like to join me in a seated position, want your eyes to remain closed or a soft gaze at your lap, whatever feels best for you. Bring your hands up over your head, gathering up all the energy between us and your environment and your space. Bring your hands to your forehead for kind thoughts, to your lips for kind words, and to your heart. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you today. I am so honored to be part of your healing journey. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.